and thank you.
Gentleman yields back. The votes have been called. I'm going to introduce the panel of witnesses, and then we will break and go vote and come back and hear your opening statements. We're pleased to have Mr. Earl Comstock, Director of the Office of Policy and Strategic Planning at the United States Department of Commerce, Dr. Ron Jarman, Acting Director of the U.S. Census Bureau, Mr. David Pounder, Director of Information Technology Management Issues at the USGAO, Mr. Robert Goldenkopf, Director of Strategic Issues, Census Issues at the USGAO, and Mr. Justin Levitt, Associate Dean for Research at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. Mr. John Gore, Acting Director, Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice, was invited. Congress, and more importantly, the people we represent, would benefit from his testimony and appearance, but he isn't here, which is disappointing, to say the least. Should he decide to show up, there is a seat waiting for him. If he does not decide to show up, then we will have another opportunity to quiz him about some of the issues that have already been raised. With that, we will go vote, and we are in recess. For what purpose does the gentlelady from New York seek recognition?
I would like to be, first of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for having this hearing. And I would like to be recognized for a motion and that I've already cleared with the parliamentarian.
By any chance, would it be a motion to subpoena a witness who's not here?
It's a statement that I feel very strongly about on Mr. Gore, who
I'm making short circuit it if you'll.
No, I don't want to short circuit it.
No, I said I might be able to if you would allow me just to agree to send the subpoena and not take not take up the time of the folks who actually did bother to show up. As I said in my opening, he's coming to talk at some point or another, whether he wants to or not. So I'm happy to work with you on finding that date. I don't think it's fair to the folks who did show up, particularly when we're operating under a time constraint, to spend a lot of time focused on the one who did not show up. So I'm happy to issue a subpoena, and I will work with the gentlelady from New York to find the right date.
Well, what about next week? And I was up all night working on questions for Mr. Gore because we know that the idea of adding a citizenship question did not come from the professional career employees at the Department of Justice. It came from a partisan political operative, John Gore, and my motion did call for him to be subpoenaed, and I am pleasantly surprised that you're willing to do so. Then the question is timing. Can we do it next week? Because the census is on a schedule and we have to get these questions answered. They have certain timelines they have to meet. Could we reconvene? Maybe we could just adjourn and come back next week, even with the other panelists.
Well, I don't think that's fair to the five who may have plans next week. And let me also offer this. My sending someone a subpoena should not be confused with them talking. I can't make someone talk. I can make them sit at that table and listen to our questions. If my friend from New York would be willing to do so, we can start with the openings, and then you can get someone on your side that can meet with Sharia or Rob or somebody on our side and see if we can agree on a date where something is not already scheduled. I know we have matters next week, and again, I'm just reluctant to inconvenience other people because we have one witness who bothered not to show.
Well, I agree we should go forward. I just respectfully request, and if I get a guarantee from you that you'll move it as quickly as possible, if not next week, the week after.
You have a guarantee from me that we are going to bring him by legal compulsory, if necessary, at a time that our folks agree to, and if they can't agree to it while we're giving opening statements, I'm sure they will report back to us.
Very well.
And then you can go forward with it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I yield back.
With that, Mr. Comstock, you are recognized for your 5-minute opening. Sure. I'm sorry. I think, Dr. Jarman, you're giving one for both. Good. That'll save us some time. You're recognized.
That's correct. So good afternoon, Chairman Gowdy, Ranking Member Cummings, and the members of the committee. Before I begin.